you're the CEO of Zart Holdings. Now, that's not going to mean an awful lot to a lot of people. So can you fill us in what Zart Holdings is?
Yes, Tony. Zart is just the holding company of a couple of very nice seed companies in South Africa and Europe. We've just decided on the name Zart because it's our parent company is Zeder and is Zuid-Afrikaans, and we've got a Dutch connection, and Zart is seed or Saat in Afrikaans. So we were a bit creative, and just one morning we decided that the holding company is Zart, so everybody is happy. Underneath Zart, we've got, we've got names like Agricol, more than 60 years in South Africa. We've got Klein Karoo Seed Marketing, Bakker Brothers, and some other subsidiaries. So that's just the holding company of a conglomerate of seed companies.
But you don't only have interest in South Africa, do you? You have overseas interests, as you said, the Dutch.
Yeah, no, I would say more than half of our turnover is not in South Africa. We're selling into 70 countries, most of the African countries, and vegetables, and the Middle East. We service the Middle East out of a subsidiary called Bakker Brothers, and it's more vegetables. But so we're selling in the continent. We're selling, even here from Brackenfell, we sell to Pakistan and Germany and Canada. So we export a lot. But we've originated as a pasture company here. But now I think we truly, we want to be the best and one day the biggest in Africa, independent seed company.
We in South Africa collectively have neighbours, Zambia, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and then we go further up into Tanzania, Uganda, and so on. How far up are you going?
As I said, we sell via agents to most countries, and a quite interesting new one is Rwanda. But we've got permanent establishment in 3 countries. We've got a big office in Zambia and Zimbabwe and Mozambique. How we tackle Africa is we first go in with vegetables and then pastures, and the real proposition is when we do breeding our own germ plasma in the countries. So in Zimbabwe and in Zambia we do have trial farms, and we're selling maize and the rest. And the intention is to grow to Africa. The next step will be Kenya, Tanzania, and the northern part of Africa we service out of Holland. And but we're quite proud. We've got establishment and we've got locals involved as shareholders. But that's a big investment. We always talk about the 1,000 days. So you need to go in. Then it's expensive to put people on and open an office in Africa.
If you look at the African continent, many people are of the impression that South Africa is the springboard into Africa, right up to Nigeria. Now, if we look at between Nigeria and South Africa, all between is for South Africa an open market, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an open market. What we do have in South Africa is capital and the knowledge. But seed is quite interesting. What grows here doesn't grow there, but you need to get the right germ plasma. But the theory behind it is the same. So we'll do the tests and trials here. And another thing for, what makes Africa different is there's no GMO products allowed currently. I've got my own view. I think it will open up. You get better yields. And, the multinational companies won't invest, billions of dollars into things that doesn't work. The strains, Kenya's opened up so they can import GMO products. And Zimbabwe, South Africa is selling maize into Zimbabwe. So. But I think why the African people are scared, it's their staple diet. They eat a lot of maize, and Europe is in the bandwagon, and I think it's been well tested, and billions of dollars have been spent on it. And what it does, you get a better yield, and with the big populations, in the end you'll move there.
If we look across the border, and you were saying you're quite prolific in Zimbabwe, for instance. Now, the economy is shot to pieces, although Mr. Mugabe would not agree with that statement. It's pretty obvious to the world that it is pretty much shot to pieces. How do you trade there? How do you make it pay?
In the end, we sell in small packaging sizes for a subsistence farmer to buy. So in the end, and there's a lot of aid help available. It's a struggle. You know, in Zambia, there's close to 1 million small farmers and 500 commercial farmers.
Just to interrupt you, mostly South African.
Yeah, commercial. I mean, you know, our parent company, Zeder's got huge farms in Zambia called the Chaitin Farms. So, I mean, we farm on a big scale. So, I mean, it's tough. You need a big distribution network in the areas. We need to plant and show the people, and then you sell a solution.
Is everything coming up from South Africa to there?
No, we do the actual production there.
Yes, but I'm talking about the harvesting, combine harvesters, tractors.
No, there's big operations. You know, John Deere has got via Lonro and Afgri. No, there's even Angola. I've visited Agrimundo, their CEO in Angola. They've sold more than 300 John Deere tractors last year in Angola. So there's
Africa's a good market.
Africa's a good market. It will open up. If you look at, you know, just the hectares.
Well, it has to feed itself, doesn't it?
There's 420 million hectares south of the Sahara where you can do good plantings. South Africa's got 14 million and we do maize on 5. So the big, huge market. Angola is close to 60 million hectares of good arable land.
Why are
plant
we so poor?
So, but things will get. Why are we quite keen on Zimbabwe? Because there was good commercial farms, there's a good infrastructure, there's storage facilities. So we think when things will open up, it's going to be a nice market. It's bigger than South Africa at the high days.
I'm actually going to put you on the spot a bit here, Antonie. When do you, I hate to use this terminology, see the expiration of Mr. Mugabe so that it does change? Do you see it in the near future?
No, it's difficult for me to comment. But Tony, to be realistic, I think he's 94 years old. Yes. I mean, it will end one day. And there's beautiful people in Zimbabwe, great infrastructure, still good knowledge, well-educated people.
Do you go there often?
Yeah, I go there. I mean, it's a lovely place. It's been tough now. People are weary and they're tired. But I just reckon things will pick up very quickly.
So if you were...
They just need money, injection.
But where will they get the money from?
I think there will be aid when Mugabe is not there anymore. I reckon there will be a lot of money inflow into Zimbabwe.
We just shipped, over the Christmas period, 100,000 tons of maize to Zimbabwe.
That's true.
And they could grow it themselves?
Of course. They could feed a lot more than just their own country. Just remember, good soils, good practices, great hybrids that's been adapted for the environment in Zimbabwe. No, it will be easy.
It makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? That's the market you're looking to. It's the easiest access market.
I think it's easiest access. It's slow. Oh, it's less than 2 hours from South Africa. It's easy for Zambia is also a great example.
Let's round off our interview with what you're up to outside of South Africa. Are you purchasing more companies?
Tony, yes, but it's quite expensive with the multiple seed companies trade for. But there's very nice, unique setups. Normally started with family, with germ plasma, which we're interested in. So we'll always be looking.
Where are you looking?
I mean, our climate, Australia and New Zealand suits our climate, and then Argentina and Brazil.
Are you looking in those countries?
Yeah, we're definitely looking at germ plasma.
How seriously?
Very serious. We will, hopefully invest pretty soon in specific, like subtropical grasses, or in soya specific, or in sunflowers. We won't purchase huge companies with a couple of billion rand. But we'll invest and then we'll start growing. That would germ plasma that's suitable for Africa and the Middle East. We're focusing on emerging markets, but the technology and the germ plasma. Now we're importing a lot from Australia and New Zealand.
There's one country who worked wonders in the agricultural field, and it never seems to be mentioned these days, and that's Israel.
Yeah, always been.
Yeah, hydroponics.
Hydroponics, they. Doing a good job in Israel.
Turning desert into oasis.
There's a lot of money flowing from the Middle East now into Africa. So we need money to Ethiopia. It's a big country for us. Export country, Ethiopia. Sudan. No,
Well,
there's
unfortunately, it's strife-torn at the moment, but
Yeah.
it needs to settle down.
it will settle down. But, you know, Tony, I mean, there's huge opportunities in Africa, but it's tough. Find the right people. I mean, it's not easy to do business in Africa, but the opportunities, you need to be there.
Do you want to elucidate why it's not easy to do business in Africa?
Why it's not easy? I mean, to find I mean, just take, you know, if we employ somebody there, it's tough to get a working permit. It's US dollars. Children must go to school. You start from scratch. It's bureaucratic. I mean, it's you know what I've seen.
Is that the worst, the bureaucracy up there?
It's
Backhanders?
better, but it's not. You know, it just takes time, and it's tough on the family. Normally, the husband is working, and you know he's got his interaction the whole day. But you know, for the one that sits at home, with the children,
It's difficult.
it's difficult. But once you get it right, you build a nice business. There's not a lot of business you can buy in Africa, but if you build one, it's quite valuable.
In some respects, Africa is its own worst enemy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We've got the resources, we've got the
We just don't use them properly.
We just don't use them properly.
Isn't that sad?
But I must tell you, every new day is a better day in Africa.
Yeah.
Things change slowly, but there's progress.